Okay, Kayla, we just got another set of brand new images from The Summer I Turned Pretty season 3. Thank you, Entertainment Weekly. Thank you, Prime Video. The show is almost here. It's about 2 months away because it comes out July 16th. I feel like I'm literally going feral because I can't stop talking or thinking about it. Like, it literally is just taking over my brain.
I'm so excited. And I literally saw the pictures and I gasped because I was like, what in the 1990s J. Crew vintage magazine? Like, it was beautiful. They looked so
Yes.
good. The chemistry between her and Conrad, I'm living for it.
I know the color palette of like the Entertainment Weekly photo shoot was so just like easy breezy summer, the kind of like romanticized summer I think all of us are craving. But then when I was reading the article and I scrolled and saw like the actual images from the show that we hadn't seen yet, I was
Yeah,
like, oh wait, there's new images in
I
character,
know.
I can't believe it. And the first image that I saw was Belly and Jeremiah sitting at a table like on campus, I'm assuming. um I did stare at that photo for a really long time to see if that was another one from my campus because they filmed at UNC Chapel Hill a lot this season. I don't think it was. If you are a Tar Heel, let me know if you think that was the top of the student union or not because I literally I couldn't tell. There's like a balcony that you can like sit on, and I was trying to figure it out. Anyway, so many of my friends are Team Jeremiah. I feel like I'm constantly fighting for my life. So today, let's have a little Team Conrad, Team Jeremiah, Summer I Turned Pretty, just kind of run down and chat about it as we get ready for the new episodes because it's kind of been a hot second. The show is, we've had a break for like 2 years.
I know the worst thing ever last summer was when I think we all got the announcement that there would be no episodes because it's just been such
I
a
know.
tradition. And so I'm very excited to be getting new episodes. So the most important thing that we need to know is that new episodes are dropping July 16th and there are going to be 11 total. So that is one final supersized season. Jenny Han says that 3 seasons felt right because 3 books, and I have to agree because
Yeah.
I don't think I could wait another summer to have it split in two
Oh
and
my
do like
gosh.
half of the season this summer and
No.
half the season next summer. I need closure. I just
I
need this
also
summer to be good.
need more than 8 episodes. Like I'm like really excited for
Yes.
11. 11 to like I agree that 24 episodes sometimes felt a little long, like way back when
Yep.
we were getting those. But like
Yep.
11 to 16 is like such a good length of a season. So I'm really excited.
And their episodes are usually quite long. Like they kind of feel almost movie length. They feel pretty long. I don't think we have confirmation on exactly how long the episodes will be, but I can only hope and pray that they will be longer than 40 minutes.
Yeah, stay tuned,
So,
y'all. As soon as I find out episode lengths, as soon as I find out weekly
yes.
release versus all at once, like y'all will be the
Yeah.
first to know. I'm locked in, don't worry.
Yep. But we do know that there is a time jump this season. Everyone's going to be a little bit older.
Oh
Jeremiah and
my
Belly have
gosh.
now been in a relationship for a couple years, and they're going into their senior year. So
Mhm.
Stephen and Taylor are on again, off again, and it looks like Conrad's finally started medical school, which is awesome.
Okay, so honestly, I'm not too mad about the time jump and like even an extended time jump, because it feels like so long since the show premiered. It almost feels fitting to like see them
Yeah.
continue to grow even farther. What were your thoughts the first time you watched it way back when, summer of 2022?
I was such a huge fan of the books. So before I even started the show, I had just loved the book so much. And I feel like it's every reader's dream to see something that they loved reading come to life on the screen, whether in a movie or a TV show. And especially when it's done well and you
Yeah.
agree with the casting, you like the soundtrack choices, the setting. And this was one of those like rare occurrences where I feel like the adaptation was almost like equal or even better than the experience of reading the book. So I don't think it can ever be replicated like the summer I turned pretty summers of watching this TV show. So I'm so sad we're going to lose it after the summer, but I know it's going to be great.
Especially since the rewatchability, like it has a high rewatch value.
Yes.
A lot of shows these days, in my opinion, I don't want to rewatch
Yeah.
after I've like watched it the first time. Um, but yeah, I just remember, oh my gosh, it's like seared into my brain watching this for the first time because I was at home. I was living with my parents on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Texas pride has nothing on me because I never shut up about North Carolina, but I don't care. So I was on the beach, and The Summer I Turned Pretty is filmed in Wilmington. And so I just have so many memories, and like I've spent my entire life going to like the beaches of North Carolina. And so just seeing it, there's like some sort of visceral reaction I get where I see Lola Tung standing on a beach and my entire body relaxes. Um,
Yeah.
like there's just something so like nostalgic and familiar about it. I think I might be a little homesick because I literally there are tears in my eyes now. Um,
Oh.
but it's just such a sweet show, and obviously like One Tree Hill and Dawson's Creek were filmed in Wilmington, so aesthetically
Yeah.
it has that same early 2000s vibe. And my favorite thing about the show is that I believe we might have talked about this before, but it's one of the only teen dramas right now that there's no magic, there's no adventure, there's no
Yeah.
supernatural creatures. It's literally just teenagers dealing with their drama and like making really dumb mistakes and then having to deal with the consequences, which we haven't seen on TV in a hot second. So I'm loving it. And I also remember oh my gosh, talking about just like teenage drama. Obviously, the season one finale features the debutante ball, which was not in the books. If you haven't read the books, surprise, that was a TV show only plot line.
Yeah.
But anyway, so when Belly turns around and Conrad stands up, and the guitar from "That's the Way I Loved You" Taylor's version starts playing, I think I literally fell on the floor. Like I'm not even exaggerating. Excellent song choice. 10 out of 10. That moment is definitely seared into my brain. But
Yes.
anyway.
I will always remember that moment. I can literally like picture the whole scene because I've watched it so many times. I literally remember watching that and I go, oh, pause, rewind.
Yeah, no, literally. We're gonna watch that again. I think my mom was in the kitchen and she was like, what's happening? I don't understand.
Yep. It was just perfection. And like all of those little moments, I just know I'm gonna miss so much in the show. But that was a beautiful standout moment. And I just love like I love all of the relationships. And that actually
Yeah.
makes me think of when Jackie Chun and Rachel Blanchard told us about bonding while they were filming and building
Oh,
Susanna
yeah.
and Laurel's relationship. Because that has to be what I love about the show is there's relationships of like all different kinds, platonic, love relationships. And so they were talking about how they built that bond and that relationship by literally just hanging out, and they seemed so sweet. So I love that one, and I hope that Susanna is in some flashbacks in season 3. I would just love to see
She
that.
has to be.
I
She
know.
has to be.
But she was so sweet. And then you also talked to Lola too as well. Can you tell us about that?
Oh my gosh, you guys, Lola is just as sweet and amazing
She's
as you would
beautiful,
hope
too.
in person. Beautiful. She looked drop dead gorgeous. Go watch the videos on Brit Co's channel if you're interested, if you want to see. Yeah, I talked to her in Midtown in New York City when she was preparing to go on Broadway for Hadestown, which she did phenomenal in. And we just talked about like Broadway because she is also a theater kid, and we talked about Taylor Swift, and we talked about like what Belly would do if she was in the situation of Hadestown, and just kind of all the drama and all of that, which was so fun. And then yesterday, I talked to David Iacono about whether Cam could be returning for season 3, which has been
Oh.
something that a lot of us have been wondering if he's going to be back. And he didn't say no. So I'm wondering if we will see him. Who knows? That's not a spoiler because I literally don't know. But stay tuned because we'll find out soon. And I was just excited to talk to him because low-key, I've been Team Cam. Like, I know that the options are just like Team Conrad and Team Jeremiah. But if I were in that situation, I absolutely would have picked Cam. But considering that's not really an answer anymore, I'm so curious what team you're on.
I have to also agree, Team Cam, that was like a
Team
strong.
Cam.
I was like, he's just so precious and he's so sweet to her.
Yeah.
And unlike either of the boys, like, doesn't cause any drama. Like, he's just Cameron. Like,
He's literally just here for a good time. Yeah, you're so right. He's such a gentleman and doesn't want any drama. I'm like, hello?
yeah, we need him back in the running. But no, I am Team Conrad, like 1000%. I love him. And I just thought, I don't know, I think they're also young and they're going through so much. And I'm going to say something controversial, but I really think that Belly did him so dirty. I really
Yeah.
do. And I know that she could be justified in a lot of her frustration towards Conrad because he didn't communicate well. But we have to also think, like, yelling at him at his mother's funeral, getting mad at him that he wasn't super present at their
Yeah.
prom just because his mom was dying, and then dating his brother is, like, kind of diabolical. Like, I don't.
My roommate and I have been talking about that for years, that like low key in a lot of light, Belly's the villain.
She's the villain a little bit, and we love her. Like, I love her.
I kind of get it because like I've panicked and accidentally been messy. So like I understand,
Yeah.
but at the same
Yeah.
time, like there's a certain boundary where you just kind of have to like get it together.
But I need to know what team you're on besides Team Cam.
I'm also Team Conrad. Yay, Team
Okay,
Conrad!
good. We've established that. We can continue.
And I think he's so handsome.
Oh,
But
yes.
no one can convince me that Jeremiah is endgame because I've been paying attention
No.
to the Easter eggs and I've been paying attention to the marketing color palettes. Like, I'm crazy. I've been locked in on this, and no one can convince me that Jeremiah is endgame. And even, like, I remember, I want to say last summer, after we learned we would not be getting new episodes, the cast was at the Teen Vogue Summit, and I remember, not Jeremiah, Gavin, who plays Jeremiah, teasing, like, what fans could expect from, like, Team Jellyfish, Jeremiah, and Belly's relationship this season. And he was talking about, like, oh my gosh, what did he say? Like, sweet moments, magical moments, or something like that. And Lola just, like, makes this face at him. Like, she has no idea what he's talking about. And, I mean, granted, it looked like they could have been in some sunlight. They were all kind of squinting, so, like, she might not have been making a face as exaggerated as it looks. But she was definitely making a face. And I'm like, what is that? What does that mean? So, I don't know. But I just want her, hot take, another controversial opinion, perhaps. I want her to choose someone. I have not seen a single person like the idea, like a fan like the idea of Belly choosing herself at the end of the series.
Or choosing Summer. What?
Or choosing some.
Why?
Oh my god! I didn't even know that was an option.
That
Just
was a
like,
theory.
oh my gosh, the people yearn for romance. Like,
Yes.
we've spent 10 plus years reorienting the narrative that, like, if you want to be independent and you want to be powerful and you want your life to be good, choose yourself. Which, that once again, that is a very nuanced, complicated conversation that, like, it's all about healthy relationships because independence is very important, especially after Outer Banks just killed off the end game that they literally rewrote the show for. Like, all of us are just craving some kind of end game. Even if they make it like she, like, technically chooses herself, but then she sees the person that she's going to end up with and, like, smiles or something. Like, at the very least, a hint.
Oh, I could see them doing that, and that's so annoying, but I could see them doing that. The smile, that's so TV.
I literally saw someone clip the last, oh my gosh, what is it called? Kissing Booth movie with Joey King, like, running into, what was that character's name? Noah? Running into
Jacob
whoever.
Elordi?
Running into Jacob Elordi's character. And, like, they've run into each other, they're adults, and then she, like, turns around and, like, smizes into the camera, and that was the end, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, but talking about the narration, we also are going to get a POV from Conrad. He's, Chris Briney is narrating an episode this season, which I'm very intrigued.
If that's not Endgame, come on.
Oh.
In the Entertainment Weekly video that they released of their photo shoot, you can hear Jeremiah, Gavin Castellano, you can hear him saying, we get it, you guys like each other. And if that also isn't a sign.
Entertainment Weekly is in on it. Yep. What do you know?
But I can't wait. And plus the trailer I could talk about the new trailer for season 3 a million times. I know you wrote about it and all of the Taylor Swift little Easter eggs in there. I mean, just, and then the ending with him at the door. I don't know. I think it's an Easter egg.
I love that. Okay, yes. Talking about Taylor Swift.
I need to know what Taylor Swift songs you would give to each couple. So please let us know.
So I'm going to start with what the show has given us and then add a couple in that I think are good. I am going to go ahead and give like a little spoiler alert if you have not read the books, because it's unavoidable. If we're talking about Taylor Swift, I have opinions. So for Jeremiah and Belly, they've given us Daylight and Delicate. And even though Daylight is on Lover, the whole point of Daylight is that, like, it's a song about someone she thought she was going to spend the rest of her life with and then didn't. And Delicate is about a crush, not about a long-term relationship. At least from that perspective of, like, where she is in the moment. And then in terms of someone she thought she was going to spend her life with and not, I also went with So Long London, because that whole song is about, like, saying goodbye not only to someone, but, like, a whole life you thought you were building with them. So anyone who's mad that that is track 5 and LOML is not track 5, like, LOML is, like, sad, but the idea of, like, saying goodbye to an entire life you thought you were going to have and people and places and memories, hello, that's devastating. Yeah. And so in that vein, I also went with My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. If you know, you know, because, woo, that boy's messy. And then for something a little bit lighter, a little bit more fun for the youth of it all, but still on theme, I went with Story of Us. Just because it's like a little bit back and forth, and there's a little bit of feeling unsure, but like wondering if there is any kind of like healing in the future. I don't know. I thought that was really interesting. Yeah. And then for Belly and Conrad, the show, of course, has given us Lover and This Love. And I know that having Lover on here kind of negates the potential idea that, like, the album Lover was written about someone Taylor thought she was going to spend the rest of her life with and didn't. But Lover as a song is just, like, period. Yeah. Everyone talks about it. They're like, the fact that Conrad enters the series with Lover playing is in-game teasing enough. And then it gives us This Love, which is about love that kind of goes away and comes back like the tide, might I add. And then in that vein of, like, returning, I also went with Style.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. Especially with some of the, like, physical things Taylor writes about, like, long hair and t-shirts.
And Conrad is very Harry Styles coded.
So Harry Styles coded. And honestly, I just kind of, like, brain dumped on the Conrad and Belly ideas, because I also put Timeless from Speak That Taylor's version.
Oh my gosh.
I can't even talk. And then I put Fresh Off the Slammer. And then I put, of course. And then I put, for, like, the period in season 1 where she's still crushing, I put Guilty as Sin. But eventually, obviously, by the end of the season, they're dating, but that still felt fitting.
I love a Guilty as Sin mention.
We love a Guilty as Sin mention. And then, finally, for Steven and Taylor, we know that they have Snow on the Beach, but before Snow on the Beach, when there's kind of, like, the kissing, but they're not in a relationship, what's going on, I put Cruel Summer. So Cruel Summer leading into Snow on the Beach, where it's, like, so magical, how did this happen? And then I also put Dress, because it feels a little bit edgy, the way that Steven and Taylor have a little bit of an edge that I feel like Belly doesn't have. Not in a bad way, just fact.
Totally.
And then, because the actors, Rain Spencer and Sean Kaufman, have kind of teased that, like, Steven and Taylor are kind of ups and downs, kind of off again, on again. They don't even know what their relationship is. I also put 'Tis the Damn Season, because 'Tis the Damn Season, in the song, there's a lot of just, like, uncertainty and kind of going back to someone, and it's sad, and, like, it's not necessarily a great thing you're going back to them, but it's also not a bad thing. There's a little bit of confusion, which I feel like is fitting for the characters, apparently, which this plot line and this romance is not in the books. So literally, who knows what's going to happen with them? We have no source material for that.
Literally, you deserve an award for how perfect these are. I am obsessed.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see what songs they're gonna choose for season 3. I'm actually dying to know. Like, it makes me physically ill that I don't know what songs they're going to use.
I need them to use Lacey by Olivia Rodrigo.
Missed opportunity if they don't. Missed opportunity if they don't.
Please.
It is so perfect. Lacey Brown, girl.
If you know, you know.
Orchard Poets Department has to.
There's no way. If we don't get Fresh Out the Slammer, please.
Do you think we'll get any Reputation? Because Reputation Taylor's version hasn't come out yet, but do you think maybe they'll surprise us with, like, a drop or two?
I didn't even think about that. You just, like, stopped my heart. I literally can't take a deep breath right now. I need y'all to know, Reputation has been my number one for years and years and years. Like, that's the re-recording I've been waiting for. And I have had ideas for coverage literally since the fall of 2023. And I've just been waiting because I, like, want to write about it, and it's not out yet. Anyway.
King of My Heart has to make it on there for one of the boys. I don't know which one she'll choose, but... I fear I did not think of that, and it's perfect.
Oh my gosh. I would love more Reputation.
I think we will. She just, Taylor Swift just dropped Look What You Made Me Do in the Handmaid's Tale, and that was Taylor's version, so I think she'll definitely, and she loves The Summer I Turned Pretty, we know this about her.
Oh yeah.
So, I think there's a chance.
Especially maybe if there's any undercurrent of, like, anger. I know that book 3 has a couple, like, fights in it, so who knows?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. But everything. Either way, we will have to see what happens in terms of Taylor Swift features, in terms of Steven and Taylor, and in terms of, like, how we get to whichever end game Ginny goes with, because she said that there are going to be surprises even for people who have read the books. So literally stay tuned for July 16th because none of us know what we're walking into.
I know. I don't know what to expect, but I know it's going to be amazing, and July couldn't come soon enough.
Come July, please.
Yes.
Well, keep an eye out for all of our coverage and episode release schedules and maybe an interview or two. Stay tuned.
Prime.
But we will see y'all next week.